Now, Mr. Douglas was the most photographed individual in the 19th century, and he even eclipsed Lincoln in photographs. Over 165 separate sittings. Now, that means nothing to us today because we can selfie ourselves 165 times during the commercial. But back then, you either had to go to the photography studio or the photographer had to bring his heavy equipment to you over 165 separate sittings. Now, this is significant for a number of reasons, two of which photography emerged in the late 1830s. Mr. Douglas liberates himself, steals his body from slavery in 1838. So both of these are emerging at the same time, both of these stories, if you will. But photography also tells the truth. It does not lie. I coached football for 15 seasons. You know, you'd ask a player, son, what did you just do on that play? What were you doing on Saturday? Oh, coach, here's what I was doing. Well, let's go to the film. And we used to tell the kids that the eye in the sky does not lie. And so photography tells the truth. And social change, if you look at our history, you will see a lot of times social change has been influenced by the media. If you look at Birmingham in 1963 and the protests down there when they were putting police dogs and water hoses on many of the protesters, well, you know, that could have happened and people could have denied it, but it was on record, either still photography or motion picture photography. So it has influenced listen, look today. Social media is influencing the story. It may not be all of the story, but it adds to the story. And when you see images of Mr. Douglas, you see courage, pride, strength, determination, fortitude, resilience. And it's not by chance that he's doing it. It is by design that Mr. Douglas is bringing this notion to the table. And there were other blacks, whether they were African Americans who fought in the Civil War taking pictures with their families, or students at HBCUs, historically black college universities, taking pictures. I mean, they're all well dressed. They're all, you know, it's the picture is bringing a certain notion to the table. And I think that that's important because there were numerous unfavorable images of blacks. Blacks were portrayed as the mammy, uncle, coon, Jim. And particularly if you look at D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation, which came out in 1915, there were a myriad of stereotypes. Blacks couldn't govern themselves when given the opportunity in politics. Blacks were happy-go-lucky. Blacks, you know, they were to be feared because, you know, they just wanted to break into your house and, you know, and pounce on you every opportunity they had. And those are some of the notions that are coming out in D.W. Griffith's Birth of a Nation. And Hollywood will perpetuate those stereotypes for a very long time, 30s and 40s. Some of the two of main black actors during the day, Clinton Roseman and Willie Best. And if you look at some of the roles that they had to play, and I understand they had to feed their families, but some of those roles were hurtful to watch. And people will see that and think, oh, well, it's got to be how it is. Well, that's what Mr. Douglas was trying to combat. His images don't look like any of that. Photography definitely tells a story, and it does not lie. Mr. Douglas's photos convey a particular story. It's a different narrative. But here's how it affects us today. And this is a question that we must ask. What will our photos say about us? What type of stories will be told by our own photos?